Are you frustrated because people come to your website but yet do nothing? They don't scroll down to the bottom. They don't go to interior pages. We hear you and we got you covered. Hello, my name is Bill Arnold. I'm president of Prevail Marketing. And every day we try to give you some tips, strategies, techniques, things you can do to grow your business through better sales and marketing. And today is no different. Today we're going to talk about your homepage. And as you've been following us, if you haven't followed us, you know we've already talked about two very critical elements. We talked about your main navigation, what those best practices look like. We talked about your header and what you need to do for that. So if you haven't listened to those, please go back. But let's set some ground rules of what we're going to talk about today. First off, I've done two blogs on this. I'm going to try to get both of them covered today. If I can't, if it's not reasonably expected time, I'm going to cut it and do another one. Second of all, how do you know that somebody doesn't do anything on your website? If they just, how do you know they're just not looking around? Well, if you haven't done it, I strongly recommend you attach a heat map to your website so you can see where they go, where they're spending time, what they're clicking on, what they're paying attention to. Those are critical elements to make sure that the website's actually performing as you plan to. Every website we build, once we get the website built, we put a heat map on it to make sure that all of our assumptions were correct and fix the ones that weren't. The second thing I want to talk about before I begin is this does not apply to e-commerce sites. If you have a B2B or B2C e-commerce site, what I'm about to talk to you about doesn't apply. There's a whole set of new rules and different rules applying to e-commerce. We're going to talk about them in a future session, probably late December, mid-January. Reason I'm picking those dates is because by that time, all those e-commerce sites who are not performed well during Christmas and the holidays, we're looking for answers, and we're going to give it to them. So let's start with, you have a home module, a header module, you have a main navigation that you listen to us and you optimize, and you're confident that they're doing what they're supposed to do. What do you do next? Well, the first thing that we recommend is have a verification of trust for your second module. What is a verification of trust? Well, we all know that's not what you say about yourself that matters because you're biased. People aren't going to believe you. It's what other people say about you that really counts. And so right after we introduce who we are on the header, after we give that information, say, look, we have this value proposition. Here's the call to actions, but you want to learn more, fine. Scroll down. The next thing is showing what other people feel about us. And when we talk about verification of trust, we like to have institutional trust. Okay, we like to have organizations that are well respected, well trusted, have done reviews of other sites. So the first thing we look to, if the client has it, do they have any third-party referral site badges or rewards from places like Capterra, places like G2 Crowd, places like Software Advice? Those badges we put on the second layer that say, second module that say, hey, these people trust us. We're the best in class, whatever they are. And that people will look at it and say, wow, I should maybe trust them. Maybe I can work with them. They do have validity. What happens if you don't have those? What do you put there? Well, what I like to substitute for is if I have badges or certifications from places like HubSpot. HubSpot has, I mean, I don't know how many certification and badges you can get now from HubSpot. I've lost count. 18 last I looked at, but you can get them for CRM implementation. You can get it for onboard, all sorts of things. So if you have any badges for HubSpot or other badges that apply to your particular industry, that's a great place for them. If you have any awards, maybe you won awards because you have great content. Maybe you won awards because you did a great video, whatever. That's another place to get verification of third-party verification. That's what I put there. Okay, once we get that trust built, now they're willing to look a little bit beyond and say, maybe I want to explore a little more. What do I put next? Next thing I do is the second module on that page is I have what our business services or our product might be. And I don't try to explain everything on that. I try to give them a snippet, a picture about it and a snippet and a link to an interior page. Why do I do that? Why do I do that? For two reasons, okay? First one is that I will get some high valued interior links that they follow for SEO. Google loves that when you have those kind of links. So we do that for that reason. But more importantly, and the real reason it has to be scannable, your website. People are not ready to read everything. They want to just scan down and say, okay, that applies, that applies, that applies. Oh, that catches my attention. I'll click on that link and follow more. So you make it scannable. And so everything is very short, concise. Within a few seconds, they can ascertain whether that applies to them and move on if it doesn't. Click on it if it does. So make it scannable, have a picture, have a description of it, have a little brief snippet, and a link for the interior page for your next module. For your third module, what's your value proposition? What do you bring to the table that's so unique, so different, so special that nobody else has? You must have it. Everyone does. So I have an explainer module for my third module is an explainer module. That's a mouthful. An explainer module, we want two things. If you have an explainer video, that's perfect. It breaks up the format of just reading words. It gives them something to listen and watch. They'll listen to it. So if you haven't invested in an explainer video, which is a short 60-second, 90-second max, 30-second sometime video, that just describes your value proposition. It can be animation, motion graphics, but having it professionally done doesn't cost that much. $1,500, $2,000, but it's well worth it because they'll pay attention to it. It'll communicate with your value propositions quickly. It'll break up that word of contents, but if not, there's nothing wrong with putting together an infographic in that little spot saying, okay, these are the 6 things that make us special. Again, ideally, they all link to an interior page so they can learn more about it. That's the third module. The fourth module, well, by now I'm starting to forget about all those third-party verifications. Are these people legitimate? How do I trust them? How do I know? How do I care? Well, that's why the fourth module, we put out testimonials. And, if you think about why testimonials, think of the law of social proof, the law of authority, the law of liking by Robert Cialdini. This is what applies. People care what your people who've done business with you think about you. So what we do and again, the module can be done in many forms. It could be videos, it could be written, it could be a combination. But the key is for every single vertical you have, try to have a testimonial for that vertical that you service. Have 3 to 5 testimonials at least, because if you have less, it's like, well, that's all you've got. 3's the bare minimum, 5 is good. So try to have 3 to 5 testimonials. Make sure they're not just one-line things like, hey, they're great. Make sure there's a little bit of substance to it. 2 or 3 sentences, okay? You want a dissertation, but a few sentences would be nice. So try to get 3 to 5 testimonials that discuss the benefits of your product, substantiate your product claims. It tells you how your audience, that why you're credible, how they felt doing business with you. And again, have it curated by market segments. So after you do that, well, we're down to 7 minutes. So I'm going to cut it here because I don't want to get this too long, and the next one's going to be probably lengthy as well. So I'm back tomorrow, and I'm going to tell you the rest of the modules that you want to apply for UX UI to optimize it on your website. Now, is this the only way to do it? Of course not. But here's my suggestion to you. Start with this. We know it works. Now, you may do a lot of A/B testing and shift, modify, and change it later on. Great, you should be doing that. Use your heat map to make sure it's working. But start with this. And if you wondered how this layout goes, because I've talked to you, go to our website and you can listen to 2 blogs that read about it. Also, you look at how we lay out our website. Okay, Prevail.marketing has done what's considered best practices. So go there, look at it, learn from it. And if you like this video, please like, follow, share, whatever platform you're on, whatever's appropriate. Comment if you have any comments. And until tomorrow, I thank you for your time. Appreciate you being here. And we're going to finish this up tomorrow. Have a great day.